No, I refuse to believe that you're busier than me. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Faiven.
And welcome to Let's Talk About It.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Also, we want to hear from you, so comment below during the video.
Today's episode is about dating versus diapers. Who's more tired?
I swear to God, it's the victim Olympics in this topic, because I'm tired, you tired, we all tired. So let's talk about it. But first, rapid fire.
What is the bigger energy drain? Putting your nieces and nephews to bed or endless small talk on dates?
Definitely putting the kids to bed. In your experience, is the baby phase fast or slow?
Both. There's this phrase, goes the years are long, but the days are
short.
Yes. If you had to give up one forever, pizza or your phone, which would it be?
Forever? Oh, pizza. What does date night look like for you and your husband these days?
Actually, it's not date nights, it's day dates, because the evenings are bedtime territory. So day dates is what it's looking like. What do you think is more expensive? Childcare or keeping up with dating apps, outfits, and nights out?
Childcare. Without even having a child, I know it's like $2,200 per kid or something.
Something like that.
If you could sum up your entire dating history in one word, what would it be?
Eclectic?
Yeah, lots of variety in that pool.
Which type of ghosting hurts more? A toddler suddenly going quiet in the house, or a date never texting back?
Why don't that baby love me no more? The dates, I be forgetting people's names. But that baby, we had such a bond. My opinion of blank completely changed after having multiple children.
Of moms with multiples completely changed after I joined the group. I used to think like they were just an out of control circus, but now I understand that you have to relinquish control to a degree or you will go insane. Would you rather have unlimited snacks in your house or unlimited gas in your car?
Unlimited gas. I'm not much of a snacker anymore.
You love the snacks, Faiven.
Because I don't...
We have goldfish and no toddler here. I think the first thing that we said to each other, well, the first thing that I said to you when I saw you, she came to visit me, y'all, was my underwear not only backwards, but they're inside out.
You also said, hurry up and get on in this house and there's mosquitoes outside.
Yes.
No hug, no welcome.
But that was for your well-being. Do you want 20 bug bites on your arms and your face looking lumpy?
No, I do not. No, I do not. We're both tired,
yes,
is what we're getting at.
Yes.
I'm working every single day. I just worked the US Open. That's a 3-week affair out at the tennis center in Queens. I didn't do all 21 days. I did 10 days. But that's because I open the gym twice a week and I also work other external events. Like we just had a morning show premiere event with like Nicole Bahari and some other cast members. And then it was like built out at Flatiron, and then fans could come and like read the teleprompter, the news desk, and it's just a lot back to back to back. And so you work like a 10-hour day, and then you leave New York City and you go to DC and you meet up with your friend so that you can film for your YouTube channel. And then the friend has 11 kids and she tired because she hasn't gotten 8 hours of sleep in about 4 years.
I can't remember the last time.
But here we are. So, how you doing, friend?
I wish I could just go back in time and just shake myself. Like when I think about the times that I thought I was busy and I thought I was tired. And I'm not saying that if you don't have kids, that means you're not busy or you're not also allowed to be tired. But it is different. Because people have kids and they like, your other priorities don't stop. So you're however tired you are. Like imagine everything that you just said and now throw 1, 2, 3, throw any amount of children on top of it. And the kids don't care what kind of day you had. And you can't turn off yet. Now you have to turn on for them because this is their first time seeing you if you were at daycare all day or if you were working all day. And they need all of you too. And they pick up on everything, and it's so sweet, but also like so scary. So like a lot of times we have to tell our son, that we just have to do a little bit of work, and a lot of our work is on the computer, just editing and stuff. So he has his own little kitty laptop, and the other day he was like, "Mommy, I just do a little bit of work. Like, I can play with you in a second. I just got to do a little bit of work." And it just like reminded me that everything we do and say, they're absorbing. So just, and also the importance of just like being there and being present for your kids, because the time is fleeting, blah 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 blah. But I don't know what I was doing before I had kids, and I do wish I could have that time back, because what the F.
Yeah, I mean, everything in retrospect, you're like, ugh, I would do things so much differently. And now, as a busy adult, I mean, the time I don't spend child rearing, I spend working, because I'm essentially the strong man I want in my life. I have no choice. I'm single, I pay all my bills, I have to set up my own retirement accounts and brokerage accounts and everything. It is what it is, and that's fine, because it's just me that I need to feed. It'd be one thing if I had a whole family I had to manage on top of that, then I would probably be working even more. So I'm grateful for where I am in life, and I just look back at younger me and like, oh, remember college? We used to think college was a lot of work, but all we did was sit in class, and classes were an hour, and our day was done at 2 p.m. And everything was like prepaid, whether it was student loans or grants, and the dining halls prepaid, so unlimited food, and you have the whole day from 2 p.m. onward to do whatever. No one took advantage of that. Everyone just like lounged around, slept. Only the athletes were forced to have schedules that made sense with their lives, and they had to eat nutritious meals. Sometimes they ate junk, but they got so much exercise in that their bodies were still great. But like, they had to be mindful of nutrition so they can perform like on the field or on the court. So everyone else, we didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we didn't structure our time. Like now, if I have to be at work at 8 o'clock, I'm still waking up at 5:45. So I'm like, if I don't put myself first before an employer, I don't feel right for the day. I need to brew my coffee. I need to have a slow morning. I need to make my bed. I need to like steam my clothes. I need to feel like an adult who's living for myself, and that work is just an errand I have to run. Because to me, work just gives you the money so that you can grow your wealth and do what you actually want to do with life. Work is not my identity. So it's not more tiring that I wake up early. I just try to go to sleep early, but my days are still full.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I had the structure and the knowledge about sleep and nutrition and protein and circadian rhythms, and I wish I just knew all this at a younger age, and then I feel like I'd be able to manage it better, or I would have been more productive at a younger age. And now it's just like, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't
also
know.
back then, circadian rhythm didn't matter because you had youth, so you could go out all night and drink and do a puke and rally, and then show up to do a 10-hour shift the next day, and all was well. And now those decisions of the night before, they just stick a little longer. They stick physically, they stick mentally, they just stick.
I literally don't drink alcohol anymore, not because I had a problem with alcohol or that, like, I drank for 15 years of my life, college, friends, nights out, New York City, but now a couple of drinks ruins the whole next day.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
And I have stuff to do, so it doesn't make sense. I literally have stuff to do. That's it. I no longer drink alcohol.
Yeah, the toddler wakes up at 6 a.m. We're currently sleep training our 9-month-old. We're not sleeping more than a good night is if we're getting a 5-hour stretch. But that doesn't happen often. Like right now, we're sleeping every 2 to 3 hours. As soon as she doesn't feel your hand or the body warmth of a human next to her, she's waking up. And then, sure, you can let her cry it out for an hour. That's an hour you're not getting sleep, or you take shifts, but no route that you take ends in sufficient amount of sleep. So we have to be, in this season that we're in, my husband and I have to be very careful, because it's easy to just pick a fight. Like, we're exhausted, we're tired, it's easy to start playing the blame game. Oh, well, you didn't do this, or well, you didn't. Like, yes, none of us are firing on all cylinders, and just kind of remembering like, listen, you're not the enemy. Like, I know we feel like we're each other's enemy, but us against these kids. And, yeah.
Do you ever compare struggles to other people in other situations? Because I know better than to compare my tired to a fatigued mom's tired.
Well, yeah. So, like, sometimes my husband would tell me he was tired, and I'm like, oh, you're tired? Did you nurse them on your boobs every 2 hours throughout the night because they're only wanting? I'm sorry, you're tired? My husband is allowed to be tired, and his tired might not look like my tired, but that doesn't mean that I get to diminish his tired. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes as well. But I think what I'm needing in those moments when I'm tired is like somebody that's able to push through with me, because it's like, okay, I hear you, you're tired, but the kids are still up, which means our shift isn't over. So neither one of us get to clock off. And you are allowed to be tired, but we're both about to pull this shift. And if anybody's going to get a break right now, I'm not keeping score, but I do volunteer myself first.
What is it like that now, obviously you have to keep the children fed and alive and just like cared for 24/7. So has your mental health been impacted by having to put kids before your own needs? Like, how much space and time and energy do you have for self-care or therapy, or is there postpartum issues? Like, you're just giving all of yourself to your entire family, and then what's left for you?
I think with my son, I had a little spell where I just wasn't recognizing myself. You have the thick, healthy, glowing hair when you're pregnant, but then you pop the baby out, and now comes like the thinning and the shedding. I was going days without washing my face just because what skincare routine and what time. And so I hadn't been able to, for a long period of time, like do the practices that just made me feel like me. I used to stretch every day. That was out the window. And that was the closest that I felt in a long time to when I did struggle with depression, and that kind of feeling of hopelessness would start to creep in, and then the pity party, and I just felt familiar feelings that I hadn't felt in a long time. And I can't remember how I got out of it now. I'm sure I talked to my husband about it. Maybe he booked me a facial or something. I'm sure he did. I can't remember what happened last week, let alone what happened a year and a half ago. But I will say, just like having somebody that you can talk to and that understands when you're tired and that can take the kids away is a godsend, because I couldn't do this alone. Yes, I was a single parent with Lily, and doing this as a single parent is also, we're talking about being tired as a two-parent household. Doing it on your own like that is just another level. I could not imagine doing it on my own as a parent of multiples. So kudos to anybody who is in that situation, because I understand what it's like to be strong when you don't want to be strong. It's just not a choice at the moment.
Yeah, that's something I can't imagine at all. Like, even my sister, she's married, 2 kids, 1 on the way, but because she stays at home with the kids and her husband's working, she is doing a lot of the rearing alone most of the time. And so I try to prioritize my auntie visits and help out around like the kitchen. And I'm very domestic, so it's very easy for me to food prep for them or whatever. And I'll be going back soon after her 3rd and final C-section to help out. And I'm just like, wow, yeah, so what about the single mom who has multiple kids and no one is helping out? Like, I literally, how do you do it is like a genuine question. So if you're a single mom with multiples, how do you literally do all the things? There's only so much time in the day. And then do you have to go to work? And then how can you afford daycare for all the kids? And even if you have assistants, does it cover everything? It seems so impossible. I feel for them. And also, we need moms, like you need a new generation of people. And like, you can't demonize people for having kids. It's an intrinsic bodily want, and I don't know. This country's not set up for it. We don't support families. We weren't taught what we need to know about life. So I feel for moms. I really do.
And I had one for 12 years, and then I added to the litter. Having one and having anything more than one also doesn't compare. That doesn't mean that you don't have it hard as a mom of one. That first baby as your introduction to motherhood comes with a lot of challenges and just waves of newness and just new systems and structures, relearning yourself and just like what your dynamic is, who you even are as a parent. So all of that is a lot. But you have to move so much differently as like a mom of 3 than you do a mom of 1. There are certain things that you just have to let go of. I think some of the best advice that I got from another mom that had multiples was just don't forget that your kids are like their own people, because when you have that many kids, it's so easy to be like, all right, here's 3 shirts, I buy the same of everything because this is, but like just like still trying to, it's the balance of we got to do what makes sense because maybe it's a financial decision, but also not lumping them together all the time in a way that like robs them of their individuality, which it can be so maybe easy to do if you're just like, all right, well, how do I parent this one? Oh, well, her brother was like this, so let me try that with her. And it's not that I'm trying to compare you to your brother, but it's like at the end of the day, it's 3 of y'all, but it's 1 of me. So I am pulling on the information that I got from the last kid because that's the only thing that I have in my toolbox to help me as I navigate with the new kid until you can show me who you are, because you're only 9 months. So I might be operating on old intel, but it's the only intel I got.
Yeah.
So how do I honor you guys as individuals still?
I used to resent my mom for that because she would dress my sister and I the same. We're not even twins. Not that I support it with twins. They're still different people and they might have way different personalities, but a lot of twins dress alike even into adulthood. That's a whole different topic. But my sister and I were only 1 year apart, so we're like Irish twins, and my mom be like, all right, here, same shirt, or same shirt, different color type thing. And I'm like, we're different people. I want to wear something else. Like, I don't want to dress like her. But now that I'm an adult and I see, oh, you had 3 kids in a row, and you worked full-time for 40 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's really back to school shopping like, okay, let's get styled. It's like, nah, girl.
Here you go.
Throw it on.
Yep.
It's clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that used to upset me too, though. Like, okay, it's one thing if your parents do it, but then it's like the aunties and other people buying gifts. We not your kids, so you got the extra time in the day to pick out 2 different shirts or 2 different toys. But me and my younger sister also were 13 months apart, and then my older sister is 4 years older. So whenever it came time for gifts or trinkets or whatever, she would always get her own gift because she was older, and we would get the exact same thing. And my feelings were the exact same as yours. 13 months is a big deal to me. Like, recognize that I am 13 months older and separate my gift, please and thank you.
I know. But hey, I get it. People, they do what they have to do. And if you're a good parent and you only cut corners when it comes to the color of our shirts, that's not a big deal in comparison to other things. Because my parents, they had us in, like, we tried gymnastics, we tried swimming, my brother tried football and basketball, my brother and sister both did track, I did theater, I did girls choir, like, we did the things, and at the end of the day, who cares about the pair of pants? That's how I think about it now. So everyone's doing their best, and like big ups to parents. And I don't think anyone, and it doesn't help anyone when you compare struggles either, because it's very easy for a mom who's just like struggling with a bunch of kids to look at a single person who's the same age, like single no kids, and be like, ugh, you have 0 problems. There's no way you could be stressed about anything because look at me in comparison. You don't know what that person's going through either. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what if they're taking care of other family members, what if they're financially stressed on their end, what if they have health issues, what if they have a domineering boss who won't let up, so they're always micromanaged. Like, everybody has their set of stressors, so you just have to like do the best you can in your situation. But I think I did compare myself to my friends and family who are my age but in a different life circumstance with more responsibilities, because it actually allowed me to reflect and be like, wait a minute, I do have more free time than someone who has to take care of a spouse and kids. So what am I doing to maximize that time? It's part of my gratitude practice, I guess, because I focus on what I do have versus what I don't have. So I'm like, okay, I don't have a husband and kids, but I do have time, energy, and I'm able-bodied. So what can I do with that? And I just remember my mom always saying she didn't have time, she didn't have time, she didn't have time. So I was like, I have time. What can I do with time? What can someone with more time do than that someone without time wishes they could do. So that's how I got into cooking and food prepping and working out and reading books and learning how to do my own gel nails and doing my hair and my brows. And I just got good at a lot of things, and I appreciate that. And I'm like, it is a blessing that I am in the position that I'm in. It's also a blessing for someone to reproduce. Like, what a miracle life is. Like, that's so awesome. So we have different blessings and different responsibilities, and how we fill our time is really precious. So if anything, you should compare yourself to yourself. You know, like, if you're a first-time mom, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Second time mom, you're like, I got this. You know what I mean? And same, like, if you're single and you're like, I have 0 skills. And the next year, you're like, now I know how to do these 4 different things. I learned on YouTube University for free, and now I'm excelling in these skills, and I help myself, I help my friends, I help my neighbors. So it's, your situation is so individual, and then some things, it's like apples and oranges.
Yeah.
You literally will never win when you compare diapers versus single and dating, you know?
Even if there's another mom that has the same amount of kids as me, if her kids are older, or if she has a different support system, or if her finances just have changed, like, she's in a different season. It doesn't matter that we have the same kids. Like, she's in a different season. She's able to outsource things that maybe I can't outsource, or she's able to have more independence or free time to put herself together because she has 3 kids that are in school. I have 1 kid that's in school and 2 kids that are at home that are on opposite nap schedules. So she's in a different season, and it can be so, like, I remember after I became a mom of multiples, next thing I know, I'm on Instagram, and there's this other woman that I follow. And when I was following her, she had no kids, and then she had 2, and then she had twins. And she's like a CEO, and then has this other side business, and then is remodeling a house upstate. And I'm like, and looks great. Hair is done, fits are fitting, and I'm like, okay. I've been wearing the same shirt for 3 days. I've not stepped outside. And if I allow myself, I can stay there with my mindset and my thinking and start to beat myself up. But I just have to remember, like, we're not in the same season. And at the end of the day, we're not even in the same tax bracket. This woman has a house upstate that she's remodeling, which means she has another house that she's living in while she's remodeling this one. Apples and oranges. I'm comparing myself to somebody that, you know, that might never be my situation. So how are you going to make do and show up for yourself and show up for your kids with your reality right now?
Yeah.
If you keep comparing it to that, then this will never be enough.
Exactly.
But it's so easy to do on social media because all of that is just like right there at our fingertips. And then maybe somebody's like looking at me and they're like, oh my gosh, you're always so put together. And I'm like, what? You think I'm put together? Because I'm looking at her and she's put together, you know? And so it never stops. But I also am thinking back to when I had 1 kid and I thought I was so busy. And I used to tell people just how busy I was or how much I had going on. And I'm like, wow, people's eyeballs were probably glazing over. People that had more kids were probably like, oh, you think you're busy? Because when somebody tries to tell me that they're busy now, and it's not the right mindset, so I need to check myself because there are people that still have more kids than me and they're not being, short with me or, oh yeah, well you only have 3, I have 5, I have 7, whatever. But what I am struggling with personally now is hearing how busy certain people are, and I'm like, ain't no way. Just ain't no way. Like, you're 20-something. You have no kid. No, I refuse to believe that you're busier than me.
That's true. That's true. There's also a difference between productivity and busyness, and there's even like studies about that where apparently the 5-day work week in the office and 8 hours a day doesn't make any sense because productivity wanes after just like 3 or 4 hours a day or something. So people are advocating for the 4-day work week just because our brains don't focus on like menial things. Yeah, and so it's just like that schedule came during industrial war times anyway, and they never like switched it back to like a normal work-life balance. Because like, when do you come home and hang out with your family? Just nights and weekends? That doesn't make any sense, for real. But I think, someone who's busy might be just not organized or they just didn't time block accordingly. Like say you have to do stuff on the computer, then you like hone in and focus on a computer time block instead of like, let me log in and pay bills and then go down the street to the grocery store. Then let me go back to the computer and see the kids' schedules for the month. And then let me go to, groom the dog. It's like, no, you're supposed to like strategically block your activities so they make sense. If you leave the house once and you do all the errands, stuff like that. So productivity and being busy are two different things because you might have, 3.5 hours worth of tasks to do in the day, but if you don't structure it right, it is gonna take you the whole day, stuff like that. So maybe the 20-something with no kids and like a relatively simple job didn't structure their life correctly, and then they will learn the way you learned what actual full days are.
You're gonna learn. Yes, life will humble you. Like I remember when I was taking college courses, and you have to have a certain level of discipline for online classes. It doesn't matter how good you are in the physical classroom. Like if you're not able to like commit and like lock in, like those online courses will get the best of you. But that aside, like I remember like not doing well in my online classes because I thought I didn't have the time to like read the material or study or do the work. I remember my shift at the time was like 9 to 1, or maybe it was like 9 to 3. I was going out on the weekends, but I didn't have the time to study? What?
Yeah.
And you couldn't tell, that's why I have a D. I don't have time. I would have died on that hill.
I didn't read books in high school. I would like use Spark Notes, which was like the summary website at the time. Now I read like a book every 2 weeks for leisure. And I work almost every day, and I go to the gym, and I cook my food, and my house is always clean. So I'm like, oh, like literally, oh.
Yeah. What is there's two sides to this, right? Like on the one side, like I think people are eager to be heard because before social media, there was not a lot of pulling back behind the curtain. So people are wanting you to know their pain, their suffering, their struggle, because there needs to be a safe place to express that. But then over time in this age of like oversharing, I don't know where the line changed, but somehow it turned into the struggle Olympics and, oh, you think you have it hard? I have it harder. And it's just like, there's no trophy. There's no trophy for the person that has suffered the most. So I don't know what has to happen there. I don't know if it's just as easy as getting off the wheel, and I'm still working on it too, because this is this very same thing as me getting mad when somebody tells me that they're tired or busy with no kids in their 20s. I'm like, oh, you think? Like, immediately I want to share the list of all the things that make me more tired. And I don't know where that comes from, but like it's not solution based, you know what I mean?
To reframe that is if everyone learn how to practice gratitude more, because then you can, instead of focusing on the things that are stressing you out and are making you tired, focus on the positive aspects of what you're given in return. Like, I'm grateful to have these children. I'm grateful to have this larger house to live in, even though I have to clean it all. I'm grateful to have the space, you know what I mean? The 20-something can be grateful for that work opportunity that they got that is having them work around the clock. That was a coveted internship that everyone wanted, and you got it. And so now you have to work 10 hours a day, but you got the coveted internship. Yeah, you're tired, but you got it. And like, that's like, just be grateful. So if you focus on that, like I moved to New York City in my early 20s for a coveted job at NBC that like only 1% of people get in to the Page program. So I moved to Manhattan with no money, and they were only paying $12 an hour. And we worked 6 days a week. And one of my rotations in the program was the weekend Today Show. And the Today Show is obviously the morning news. So I had to be there at 5 a.m., which meant I had to wake up at 4 a.m.? So of course I'm tired and broke, but I get to work at NBC. I had the badge. I worked in 30 Rockefeller Center. I got to see celebrities every day, from like Jimmy Fallon to Al Roker. And wow, just focusing on the gratitude part of it made it so much easier to digest that I'm up at 4 a.m. in my 20s. And there was no way I could have gone out on a Friday night if at Saturday morning I have to wake up that early. And so you have FOMO when you're in your 20s. So it's like, oh man, I'm missing out on New York City in my 20s on a Friday night because I have this job. But then the reframe is, oh my God, I have this job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a mental game that we all have to play. Yeah. But I think everyone's feelings are valid and you have a right to be tired or any feeling that you have, sad. Comparing it to other people is silly. It makes no sense.
Every now and then I just kind of like have these moments of clarity. Like maybe it's that moment of silence when I'm like rocking the baby to sleep and I'm just like, I have an aha moment then. And it was just like, girl, like you are in a season of transition. Like this part is supposed to be hard. This part is supposed to be ugly. This part is supposed to stretch you. And right now you're witnessing yourself being stretched in real time. And one day you're going to look back and be like, wow, look at all the things that you, like even the other day before you came, I made chicken fried rice, steak fried rice, ground beef with bell peppers and onions, and steak and potatoes and sauteed veggies. And now I don't have to cook the rest of the week. The way that would have broken me, had me on my knees even just a year ago where I wouldn't have been able to fathom. But I did that, and then the next day I switched gears and I turned my attention towards the house. And it was like, already I'm able to do things and multitask at a higher level. But because the goalpost is always moving, if you don't take that second to reflect and realize how much more you are capable of, you're also never going to be satisfied. Like I remember not wanting to be left alone with the two kids because I was like, even when I had Remy, because of the 12-year age gap, I still only had to tend to one child at a time. When we were trying to sleep train Remy, Lily was 12. Lily's sleeping through the night. So for the first time now, I have 2 under 2, and they're both sometimes still waking up. So when I had the third one, I couldn't fathom being left alone with 2 kids. I'm like, you want me to be, like, what if this one runs off and then this one goes here? Like, let alone leaving the house and doing a public excursion with them. Whereas now, I'm getting them both clean at the same time. I'm taking them on outings together. And it's like, it's so easy to forget all of those moments in ways that I've grown because I'm also still in the thick of it, still sleep deprived, still just doing my best. But that is this season. I am in a season of transition and I recognize that, and although begrudgingly, I do accept it.
It sounds like you are patting yourself on the back, which you should, because like I said, there's your own growth you're reflecting on.
Yeah.
So that's the only comparison that should be happening is what I'm getting at. Like it's you versus you. You recognize you would not have been able to food prep like a freaking industrial kitchen for multiple people that quickly. And you're like, okay, next. And you did it like it was nothing. And I think maybe the takeaway from that is we need to stop scrolling as much, really, because you literally wouldn't know how other parents are doing things unless you're looking at how other parents do things. Like you wouldn't know. So if you just focus on you, you would have that same feeling of like, ha, I nailed that. Did you see what I cooked? It took me way less time than it took me to cook that last time. And like, how joyful is that? Just these little things versus watching a family like, oh wow, y'all's house is that clean? Wait, when did you cook that? Wait, all your baby's hair is done at the same time?
I just did it yesterday. This lady was sharing what she does on Sunday morning. Sunday mornings in our household are a work day because we have to go to church. So before she even goes to church, mind you, she's filming, if she's even that's the caveat, if she even really filmed that on a real Sunday morning before church. But she was food prepping, she was making breakfast from scratch, she was getting dinner ready for the evening, she was reading, and she has like 3 or 4 little boys, and I'm just like, are you getting up at 3 a.m.? But it's a trap. It's a trap. It's that scroll and compare trap.
It's a trap. So we kind of trapped y'all and tricked you with this title because there's no verses, there's no comparison. Just focus on yourself and do the best you can.
Yeah. And on that note, we want to hear from you. What season of life are you in and how are you handling the fatigue?
Do not get sucked into the comparison trap. You got this. Let us know in the comments below and be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. And be sure to tune in to next week's episode. Let's talk about it. Body is tea.